Okay, so I remember last time we were chatting, you were going to take a me day. Yeah, a me day, which just meant you're not showing up for work. Yeah, how'd that go? Yeah, you enjoy not getting paid for the me day? Okay, don't take too many. Cheers. Hey, how you doing? It's actually quite comfortable here out on the street. We've got a little less humidity than we have had, but a little less sun too, so I guess it's a trade-off. Welcome to season 4, episode 17 of... Oh, we don't have the porn stars this week. We had porn stars showing up last week. Oh, sorry about that. Episode 17 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars. We are supported by Verge Insurance Group, insurance brokers here in St. Catharines. Also by Ace Alignment for whatever is ailing your vehicle, as well as Hartzell Marine. And we're going to tell you more about those folks as the day goes on. We are, as per usual, comfortably seated in this beautiful downtown St. Catharines pub called Fiddler's Pour House. Also powered by WeeStream. We're going to meet the man behind the science in just a couple of minutes as we get this show underway. Remember the brouhaha that we caused, or at least we kind of were the catalyst for over the last few weeks, and that being the whole concept of therapy dogs. Bella the St. Bernard in particular. Well, we opened quite a Pandora's box with that episode a few weeks ago, and we're going to check in with Henry. That's Bella's handler and owner, and maybe we'll get a chance to meet Bella as well. She's been a little under the weather lately, unfortunately, but I'm sure she'll bounce back. It's nothing serious as far as we know. But Henry and Bella are going to be on here. A couple of other ladies are going to be joining us that will give you an idea about that in just about 30 seconds. So come on in and let's get this shindig underway. Here we are, live and in living color and audio at Fiddler's Pour House on this, what are we already? The 2nd of August. Wow, summer is flying by. What a wet summer it's been too. My goodness, we've had a lot of rain. Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, on the right-hand side of your screen. He is the co-founder and executive producer of this show, co-founder of WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service, along with his partner Brandon Scram. A busy time of year, thank goodness for you, Kevin. Not like a couple of COVID years ago where things were a little slow for you. You guys have been busy.
Yeah, very much so. And then, trying to balance that with, of course, all the demands of family and keeping the kids entertained. We're about to embark on a 10-day camping vacation, which will land us in the middle of Quebec, and very much looking forward to it. A bientôt.
Yes, a bientôt. Coming up in the program today, we're going to bring Henry by, as I mentioned before. Henry Wojnarowski, I think I got the name right actually this time too, along with his dog Bella. Hopefully, we're hoping we can meet Bella in the flesh, or in the fur, as the case may be. Henry and Bella, at least Henry, will be joining us at about 12:40 this afternoon on the program. And there's a fundraiser for the battle against cystic fibrosis coming up this month in a week or so. Melissa McTrivish will be joining us a little bit after 1 o'clock to chat about that. Also, we're going to bring a band back that we love. Gin is the name of the band, and they're going to be an opening act for a show that's coming up for Canal Days in Port Colborne this Friday night. So we're going to be hearing from them, as we always use a local band or singer, songstress, writer, producers, whatever, from Niagara to try to promote the Niagara entertainment scene. Okay? And hopefully the rain will hold off. For the first time in oh my goodness, years, we had some water in our basement after some of those heavy, heavy downpours of rain. Not a lot, but enough to really kind of tick you off. And hopefully August will be a little bit drier. So, as we move forward, and Kevin, some things crossed our table over the last couple of weeks since we were last here on Niagara 411 live with Sterry, and there's a story that got an awful lot of comments on Niagara 411. Hi, Nick, by the way. Always a pleasure to continue to work with Nick at Niagara 411. Hi to Nick's mom. But what I'm talking about is that, but not just that. That as a symbol of perhaps good and bad. We'll get into that part in a minute. But here's the story about what you're looking at right now. This guy, we assume it was a guy. That's the crosswalk, by the way, in Niagara-on-the-Lake. That is the Rainbow Crosswalk in Niagara-on-the-Lake, located at the intersection of Anderson Lane and Niagara Stone Road. So here's what happened. The investigators determined that the suspect attended the crosswalk location on July 31st. This is Sunday night into Monday morning, right? Between 3 and 3:10 in the a.m. The suspect then, this person was determined. The suspect then climbed a nearby utility pole and applied what is believed to be black spray paint to a lens on a surveillance camera that was pointed in the direction of the crosswalk. The suspect proceeded to deface the crosswalk by spray painting a profane word on it and then doing a burnout that left those visible marks on the sidewalk. And of course, as always, they would be happy, they meaning the law enforcement people, the Niagara Regional Police, if you had any information to contact them. But so that's the story itself, and in and of itself, it's not good, but that's not where the story really ends, as per the comments, of which there were well over 600 of them from you out in the world here in Niagara. And one of the comments got, I'll say it, got Kevin's attention more than anything else. So we were chatting about it today. And are these symbolic gestures that municipalities make a good thing? Not saying that we shouldn't support the rainbow community, the LGBTQ plus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's not what we're asking. We're asking is, do these public shows of support for any one particular group, no matter what that group is, do they invite violence and or vandalism? And that is a bit of a multi-headed monster when you start talking about this. There's one from Ken McCormick. When by bringing all this attention to it, we'll just encourage more of the same actions. Just get together as a community and fix it yourselves. That's about the vandalism themselves. But Kevin, when we were talking about this, and we'd love to get your opinion and your perspective as well, is not that being a tolerant community is a bad thing. It's kind of hard to explain this without sounding sounding bigoted against a particular group, but that's not the point. The point is, should a municipality involve these public shows of support for any one organization and invite counter-culture reaction to it? Am I phrasing that, Kevin, so that it kind of makes some sense?
I think so. It's not the...
Should we do the things in the first place?
Well, exactly. And we saw this recently towards the end of the school year with the Catholic School Board and all the protests. And also, with the DSBN and protests that were happening outside their headquarters. And then the big vote. And the Catholic School Board actually put a motion forward saying, hey, you know what? How about we just don't fly any flags?
Right.
We only fly the Catholic School Board flag. And
Canada's flag.
Maybe that's the way to go. Stay the heck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
How many resources in Niagara-on-the-Lake are going towards this flag?
Should we pick sides? If we are a municipality, a public body, a school system, take your pick. It's one of those things, as I mentioned before. It's one of those things you really can't win, because there are going to be people that say, yeah, you should put it up, but then again, if you're gonna put that up, or you're gonna put this as a crosswalk, we should have all kinds of crosswalks for all kinds of reasons. So now we've got a rainbow crosswalk, and we've got an immigrant crosswalk, and then we've got a Ukraine support crosswalk, and then we've got, I mean, where do you draw the line and say, well, we don't want to support that, but we'll support this?
It's also, we've reached the point, Lee, where you look at, in theory and in reality, the concept of a rainbow crosswalk, everybody's behind it. Well,
Totally.
not everybody. I mean, these vandals aren't behind it.
Absolutely.
I'm 100% behind it. But now you look at the reality, you look at Niagara-on-the-Lake, the one in St. Catharines, just down the road,
and
it was vandalized. These get installed to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars.
Taxpayer money.
In Niagara-on-the-Lake. Then they had to install a security camera just to look at the rainbow crosswalk because it was a target of vandalism.
Yeah.
And now the guy climbs the pole, spray paints. Like, this is right out of, like, 1960s Batman.
Or, yeah, it's like Ocean's 11 or something. People spraying cameras. This person was dedicated to be anti-rainbow community, that's for sure. Why? What is the hope of accomplishment by doing that? We're not in support of somebody defacing anything like that. But are we engaging in diminishing returns when it comes to supporting things? So maybe we should do more support by our actions rather than symbols. I don't know the answer to it. Everybody has a different opinion. But you can always join the program at any time you want by clicking on that link at the bottom of the post that you see right there on your screen as you're watching this stream. Just click the link. You'll go into our Zoom room, green room. Kevin will make sure that you got a working audio and video, and then poof, we'll have a conversation. And I'd love to hear your conversation. The other side of the thing is, if we don't support these groups that are constantly bullied. I mean, there is no group probably that is bullied more than an LGBTQ plus member. I mean, that's just the case. The bullies are rampant when it comes to that community. So, and that being said, should we shy away from, should we take the stand, do the sidewalk thing or the flag thing and whatever, and then deal with whatever comes afterward and leave it at that? That's the other side of things. Are we going to let them win by not supporting things? You know, it's the whole COVID thing. If we stop, they win. If they do it, they win. Like, nobody wins. Everybody.
But for, I saw another municipality, I think up in Haldeman or whatever, considering an installation of a rainbow crosswalk. Should they look at instances like this and say, you know what, as much as we want to do it, maybe we're going to support the LGBTQ plus community in another way? Yeah. Because this appears to be problematic. We're going to spend, it's not just the money, Lee, but imagine the resources that are tied up in Niagara-on-the-Lake Town Hall with people having to now fetch the surveillance footage, having to get the maintenance crew out there to clean the camera, and all of the human resources that are going into solving this crime that could be spent doing other things.
And you got burnout rubber on the street, and how do you, I know there are ways to fix these things, but you'd have to, I'm sure, repaint the various colors on the walkway. Vandalism and public shows of anti-support or opposition is rampant. I think kind of around the world, but we seem to be experiencing an increase of it, and maybe it's just because we're talking about it more and we see it more and we're more aware of it. However, it's it's disturbing. As are the things that you can't see in a lot of cases, like the encampments of the various homeless people along, for instance, out along 12 Mile Creek again the other day. And it's, Kevin, we have societal problems here that are complex, very, very complex issues to solve or address or improve. And the hate that we have seen demonstrated at clubs, on sidewalks, on street corners, in businesses, seems to be ramped up this summer. Case in point, a couple of those drag shows that have taken place here in Niagara. The people in drag doing story time for the children conjured up some very, very, very strong vitriol against those kinds of things, and people feeling more and more bullied, and it comes back to that whole saying, can't we all just get along? Apparently we cannot.
Yeah, but the question does need to be asked. It seems that we've fallen in love with the rainbow crosswalk as being very symbolic of...
just because aren't we wonderful?
But maybe there's another way. And I think this show, Lee, if anybody's watched this show for any length of time, knows that I don't think there's a bigger supporter of the marginalized communities in Niagara more so than us. We really try and bring them on the program, give them a voice, talk about the issues. This is more of a...
Well, we believe in them as well.
Absolutely. And we're doing it in different ways, but this is one where we might have to look at the rainbow crosswalk and say, is it worth it? Unfortunately, now that they're installed, you do get that win-loss. But the reality is everybody's losing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's losing. Every single time somebody vandalizes this, we all lose.
And
is it time to walk away from them?
And what does defacing something like that gain? It's not hurting anyone. And yet, it is showing support for people that you say always feel marginalized and or bullies. And even if you don't agree with their stance, even if you have deep personal feelings, and a lot of people do have those deep personal feelings that's not part of that's not a community that they want to be a part of, okay, or support, okay, that's fine. You needn't do that. But ignoring it isn't going to hurt you any. Ignoring it isn't going to hurt them any. Those people. Just leave it alone. And let these people that have been feeling marginalized feel that they've got at least a little support out there. What does something like this accomplish? It accomplishes nothing except, I guess, to open a debate like we're having right now about whether it's worth it. Not do you believe in the cause or support the cause intellectually or emotionally, but is the public expensive show of symbolic support worth it? Is it that important? I don't know the answer to the question because I'm not part of that community. I don't know the answer to that question because I'm not on city council and I don't work for staff. We have somebody joining the program today. Oh, hi, Sonia. I thought you might be joining us today. How are you?
Hello, Kevin. I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Sonia Aimy
Yes.
is a representative for African Women Acting. Is that correct?
That's very correct.
All right. Tell me what that is. What is that?
Oh, AWA is a non-for-profit organization geared towards promoting women issues, empowering, mentoring, coaching, presenting, and promoting upcoming and mid-career women artists of African heritage, and of course others who approaches us. AWA also works to increase the public understanding and appreciation of African culture traditional and contemporary arts through artistic productions such as music, spoken word, digital media arts, visual arts, movie screening, and the Hour Festival.
Wow. And how long has this organization been in activity?
It's been, Hour was incorporated in 2013. And we located, our headquarters is in downtown Toronto at 585 Dundas Street East at the Artscape Daniel Spectrum, the cultural hub in the downtown of Toronto. And our branch location is on 4337 Queen Street, opposite the City Hall. And we've been in this location since 2020. Last year, actually, we moved here. So, yeah.
Wow, that's been operating that's 10 years that this group has been.
Yeah, so
active.
This is our 10th anniversary, actually, October 30th will be our 30th.
So you have, as I understand it, you have an event coming up. What's going on?
Oh, yeah, we have this exciting, beautiful event, the Hour Festival, Hour Niagara Festival, coming up on August 26th and 27th of June at the beautiful and breathtaking location, which is the Riverbrink Museum on 116 Queenston Street on Queenston, Niagara on the Lake. And we are so honored to be collaborating with the Riverbrink Arts organization for this event. And it's the third edition of the Hour Niagara Festival, and presented by Hour, and celebrates the African cultural heritage as well as special guests. And the festival presents talented, hardworking, resilient artists who demonstrate tremendous effort in pursuing their artistic visions and career. And the festival offers a full day, family-friendly program with an action-packed schedule, including professionally curated arts and crafts exhibition, interactive African djembe, drumming workshops for all ages, the Afrobeat dance, concert music, delicious, authentic African food, and some Caribbean and Canadian food.
That's awesome. Yeah. And this, I think I saw on the poster there that runs from 2 in the afternoon until 10 o'clock each evening on the 26th and the 27th, correct?
Yeah, it runs from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We have the African drumming cycle.
Yeah.
And from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. we have the Afrobeat dance with an amazing dancer. And then from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. we have a lineup of artist performances, music from different various genres. Yeah.
And this is a free for all event, correct?
No, it's not free, unfortunately.
I was waiting to get there. Okay.
It's not free, and we put it to $20, which is,
it might as well be free. $20, that's good.
Yeah, $20. And for those who wants to learn to play the djembe as a way of connecting and learning other instruments, and they can do it for $25. And we provide the drums. What better than that can we offer?
Okay. So do we buy tickets to this online, or do we pay at the door? How does that work?
So it's better to go online, and you can go to, we are listed on Eventbrite, but you can go to our AfricanWomenActing.org website and to get the ticket. It will take you to the link, the Eventbrite link to grab the ticket. Or you can also visit our Facebook page where the event is listed, and you can also just snap one of the pictures, the QR code, and it will take you to the link. Or you can come to our location and scan here, and you can meet us at 4337 Queen Street. We are here from Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Welcoming everybody. Yeah.
So the tickets are, just to stick with the tickets here for a second, are they day specific, or do they cover both days, or how does that work?
It is day specific.
Okay.
$20. Yeah, $20 each day. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, go ahead.
Yeah, and they also have the possibility to purchase the voucher for the food online, and it's cheaper that way for them. And with the voucher, they'll be able to have a taste of everything that all the food that will be available.
And of course, I'm assuming that all the proceeds over and above what your costs are, et cetera, get rolled back into the organization.
The cost will be we used to pay all the artists the production cost and whatever just to put all of this together.
Sure.
And whatever remains will go into the organization to support our programming.
All right. Sounds wonderful. Just sounds great. So that it starts at 2:00 each day.
Yes.
Okay. And on the 26th and the 27th of August, American Women Acting. African American. Listen to me. African Women Acting. That's my brain cramp coming in there. So, Sonia, where are you originally from?
I was born in Nigeria,
Yes.
and I'm from Italy. I moved to Italy in my teens to study, so I'm from Italy. And I've been in Canada since 2020, but I've been visiting Canada since 2011, touring. So I'm not a new person here, but originally from Nigeria via Italy.
Well, we're very happy to have you. Glad you're involved with this organization and giving something back. So I hope your event is super successful, and we see a lot more of it. African Women Acting. Love it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you for having me. And we hope to see you there, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right.
All right, cheers.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
How could I have possibly said that? American Women Acting. Where does that come from? That's just...
looks like a lot of fun, Lee.
It does sound like a lot of fun, and love the music and the vibrance and the energy that these festivals bring. It's really super to kind of go back to what we were talking before about being inclusive of other cultures and other lifestyles and other points of view. There's something right there that is a prime example of how wonderful it can be and how much fun it can be to not close your eyes to options that are available to explore and experience.
I just want to go try the food.
Yeah.
We had this year, Lee, the school that our children go to is very diverse, and we have countries that have come, families that have come to Canada from countries all over the globe. And this year, for the first time, they held a multicultural night, and everybody was encouraged to bring like a native dish from their culture.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, did I try some foods that I otherwise, I just never would have tried them.
Yeah.
And so delicious, and so many cool different variations, and man, I want to go to that thing.
I was in Kingston this past weekend visiting close friends, my wife and I, and they had two big shows down on the waterfront. There's no prettier place and pleasant place than Kingston, Ontario, on a beautiful summer night along the St. Lawrence River, and absolutely wonderful. There was a big band show there that a friend of mine plays trumpet in, so we went down to catch that. There was a very, very successful Canadian rapper MC dude with a concert down there. Thousands and thousands of people attended that. And when you walk around the streets of that city, and it's partially because of the fact that there are many layers of economy there, including Queen's University. Oh yeah, I took that. You found that. That's my buddy playing the trumpet. Anyway, part of it, I think, is because of the university, Queen's University, and attracts study students from all over the world. But it also attracts other cultural events and restaurants. My gosh, the number of restaurants of foreign flavor that are in the area. And I know we have a lot of that too, and more coming to Niagara as time goes by. It's really great to see the entrepreneurial spirit of some of these folks opening these restaurants with foods that we otherwise would never have been exposed to. It's just wonderful to see.
Can agree. A little closer to home, Lee, we've got an issue on our roads, and we've also got the that girl in Niagara Falls that was mugged on her own property. Where do you want to go?
Well,
They're both interesting stories with some great video.
let's go to the, I'll call it so-called mugging.
The mugging. Okay, here we go.
Now, I'm going to say something that may not be popular, but when you look at the video, Kevin and I looked at this video numerous times, and not to minimize the potential trauma that this woman experienced, there's something, I'll use the word contrived, about it. And it may just be me being skeptical of things I see on social media, because it can be social media being it can be misleading, as you know. Watch this. There's a guy or a woman just casually walking up her driveway. Guy runs in, snatches a parcel or whatever she has in her hand, and she immediately comes and goes in the house. And there's a camera. Obviously, they have a security camera outside the house. Can we watch it again? Let's play it again, Sam. Okay, so there she is. This guy runs up. She grabs the thing and off he goes, and there she goes. Okay. I don't know what to think. On the surface of it, I feel sorry for someone that is traumatized like that. It sticks with you. It leaves a mark. It leaves you afraid to be in your own neighborhood. And all of those dark things that come with being accosted at any time. But I can't shake the feeling that it might be not really what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
No,
Kevin.
my first thought too, when I saw this video, I'm like, man, my heart goes out to this girl, and then I
Yeah.
look at it a little more and go, I don't know, is that, I mean, the fact that the robbery took place perfectly in the frame of the camera, but then again, the camera is pointed in that direction to catch things like this.
Yes.
In broad daylight.
Now, there's no sound with that, so we don't know what the lady is saying or how she sounds, which might lend something to it. And believe me, apologies if we're hurting you all over again by maybe doubting the incident itself. There's just something about it. I wish it could be explained.
But I mean, if I am to believe this, it's traumatizing. It's daylight on a residential street in Niagara Falls. A woman's just walking back to her home with some articles, but the way he runs away, doesn't it? It almost seems. Does it seem staged to you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There is something about it that.
Do you think
let's put it this
maybe-
way: if it were staged, I wouldn't be surprised. If it wasn't staged, I'm sorry for bringing it up.
But then, what's the motivation? Because I don't think they're claiming that anything. And this was submitted to Niagara 411. They're not claiming that, oh my gosh, there was $5,000 that was in those packages.
Well, it looked like groceries or something. It looked like an apple or something fell out of the bag.
So what would be the motivation to stage something like this?
And what?
So here, Lee, let's go to the original post.
Okay.
So the original post of this is, here you go.
Cynthia May Chapman. Here's the security footage that depicts me when I got mugged yesterday afternoon in broad daylight.
Okay.
And Stephen Chapman, I'm assuming is her husband that took the video?
I think it's her father. So
her father?
I went to his profile. So here he is, lives in Niagara Falls. This all checks out.
Yeah.
And there's the post.
I mean, I suppose we, until it's proven different, I suppose we have to take it at face value.
I feel insensitive by calling into question, but
I agree.
The first time I looked at it, first time you looked at it, we kind of thought the same thing.
I agree, but let's flip it around the other way. Why would somebody stage something like that? To pick holes in our observation, why would it be?
Yeah, what's the motivation there? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And the comments seem very real. See, my daughter Cynthia being mugged yesterday afternoon.
This is terrible. Poor girl. Was the perpetrator caught? The police. So Mr. Chapman says the police know who he is and are looking for him. All right.
And Cynthia.
So that flies in the face of something being contrived.
And Cynthia chimes in here, Lee. Here we go.
I appreciate all of the compassion that is being extended toward me. I would greatly appreciate it if anyone could share this video, as well as try to get Niagara 411 to post to the video as well, which of course they did.
Right, but the other interesting thing is here is my follow-up from yesterday. Now, I originally commented on the post on Niagara 411 inviting her or Stephen onto the show.
Right. So Kevin posted this. I hope you're doing okay. I produced Niagara 411 Live, saw this video in the mentions section, and left a comment there. Doubt you saw it. I want to invite you onto our show tomorrow, meaning today, via Zoom, to talk about the incident and get the video out there. It's alarming and scary. Let me know you saw this comment, and we can go from there. Sorry this happened to you. So that's a fair and compassionate comment, Kevin.
Yeah, people have, here's somebody that is...
It's not that we want anything to be construed as
But I mean, even if you
true.
look, right, at this point in time, she has not turned around or noticed that anybody is approaching her from behind. And usually, there's enough sensory cues to say, somebody's coming up from behind me. I should...
Yeah. So has this dude been following her? Like, I wish she had come on the program. Because I'd love to hear the story. Where was she? Where was she shopping? And why didn't... I mean, he could have done that anywhere on the street, but I don't know.
Yeah, seems...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go by...
We're going to probably be... You and I are probably going to be very unpopular for this, but it's just I believe, a healthy skepticism when it comes to things that appear on social media. I have seen too many things and heard too many things come across social media platforms of all types that are just bull. I'm not saying that is, but it looked strange somehow. That's just me. And Kevin, I guess. So we were talking about the roads now. Oh, Henry, we got Henry? Awesome. There is, that's Bella. Now, a few weeks ago, we talked with Henry Wojnarowski about him being fired, I guess, from a volunteer organization called Therapy Tails Ontario. Therapy dogs going into organizations, hospitals, schools, retirement homes, etc., where vulnerable people reside and spend time with a view to lifting their spirits, relieving stress, and just a good feeling time. And that's what these therapy dogs do. And we have both the stars of this show joining us. Welcome back, Henry. How are you?
Hello, Lee. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. And this time, we have a special guest on the program, the star of the show, I understand Bella's been a little under the weather. How's she doing?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. We had our vacation up in Fenland Falls. We went up there last Monday. First time there. Just a beautiful diamond of a place. She doesn't do very well in car rides. This girl will chill. This girl will chill anywhere and everywhere. Fireworks. We go to rock concerts, but during a car ride, she will not settle down. She likes to see where she's going.
Mm-hmm.
So that evening she got worked up, and I had to rush her to emergency in Peterborough.
Oh.
But between that visit and last Friday's visit to get X-rays done, she's got bronchitis, and
Really?
the ride irritated it.
Okay. So now, do they give? Do they? If she wants to go, you can let her go lay down. She looks like she wants to go rest.
All right.
There you go. Bye, Bella. You feel better. Are they on? Do they give dogs medication for that at all?
Yeah, actually, just like 5 minutes before we went live here, my vet from Lock 1, Dr. Jeff, just called because I was there with her follow-up yesterday to get blood work. Her blood work came back perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So today I'm going to pick up, she's going to start an oral pill steroid for 2 weeks to just get it under control.
Good.
Just like people for this type of condition.
Yeah.
And then after that, she may have to have a puffer occasionally.
Oh, that's got to be interesting, given a St. Bernard a puffer.
Yeah.
Henry, since we chatted with you the last time on this show, your story and Bella's has taken on pretty much a life of its own. It has been covered by all of the media in Niagara, and outside Niagara as well. Toronto, the Star carried CHCH Television had a piece on it, and it's garnered a lot of attention. I would say probably 99% of it in support of you and Bella being able to continue your work. And there's been a lot of back and forth between you and, I haven't seen anything lately, but there was a lot back and forth between you and Therapy Tails Ontario. So with me setting it up that way, bring us up to date with where we are right now.
Well, I still haven't heard one peep, I guess you could say, from anyone on the board or from the current CEO. Obviously, I think he wants to see this buried and go away. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, none of the board members have reached out. As I mentioned before, numerous current members, volunteers, past members, board members have consoled and brought up their own experiences with the organization. Mm-hmm. I would say this story has definitely hit a nerve with people. In a nutshell, I will quote somebody that messaged me, Alex DeGenis, a local businessman, mm-hmm. owned a Henley Honda in Subaru Niagara, where I dealt with my car. I felt very strong about this man, very nice man. He reached out, and basically, in a nutshell, because he knew how passionate I was with Bella's cause when I dealt for the car with him. And he's a dog person as well. He basically said, this is counterculture gone mad with what happened here. And I totally agree with that.
You are continuing your work, though, correct, on your own?
Yeah, actually, I submitted to Kevin a number of nice pictures this morning at our morning visit at Oakwood Park Lodge. I don't know if he had a chance to upload them or share them.
Well, yeah, you can't necessarily see what we put on the screen, but we have been while we're talking, Kevin is okay. Including some visuals along with it as well.
Yeah, but here, Lee, I'll throw up some of those that he's specifically talking about.
Yeah, okay. That was at Oakwood today, right?
Oakwood Park Lodge, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been going there from the start. The director of care there, Luann Rochette, is actually the farm where we got Bella from.
Okay, and we're showing Bella with the the beer can in question around her neck.
Lee,
Yes.
I cannot go anywhere in public. Canadian Tire, Home Depot. The day after the CH News, I was in Hamilton at the Arthritic Center. I
Yeah.
had some time to kill. I was walking around Jackson Square. Everybody was approaching me. You were the guy we saw on the news. That was so awful. What happened to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's obvious that the group in question that you worked for before won't be having you back. The ties, I'm sure, are now broken for good. But again, you were a volunteer then. You can be a volunteer now. But do you need any special accreditation or anything like that for you and Bella to do this as an individual team without working in an organization? Are there any restrictions there?
No, that's a very good question, and it depends on the policy of the facility. So again, what really hurts to me is like facility Hotel du Shaver. We were going there every Thursday afternoon, and that was close to my heart to go there to give back because of all the health complications I've had. I've stayed in all the Hamilton Health Science hospitals long periods of time. I cannot go there because the Shaver board has an agreement, like almost like a contract with Therapy Tails,
Okay.
or the school boards. But facilities like nursing homes, Fort Erie preschool, there's others that have reached out. And what I've already done, and it's been kind of a blur, vacation and trying to get things in place, but I've gone to my own insurance company. Not everybody has personal liability insurance, which I have, $1 million. I'm looking at other riders to increase that. I reached out to the Canadian Kennel Club. As of 2019, they have a program called the Good Dog Neighbor Program, a 2-day intensive course just to give you a certificate that your dog can go in public, has the etiquette. It's actually catered to people that take their dogs to nursing homes. But they run those programs at affiliated dog trainers over a certain period of time. So I'm on a waiting list for that. Just getting those things in place.
Yeah. This might seem like a really obvious question, and why ask it? But I'm going to ask it anyway because you and Bella have met a lot of people over the
Certainly.
years. You've met a lot of people and done a lot of good. What is it, in your opinion, that makes this such a worthwhile endeavor? Why is it so popular? What does it accomplish that you've seen?
For me?
Yeah.
For me personally, or for other people?
Well, for you and them. How does it help them? How does it work?
Well, ask any volunteer why they do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's priceless payback. And I have a special creature here, a thing that is a conduit to put people's faces in a happy mood, change their perspective. Even if a doctor, nurse, patient interacts with her for 20 seconds, it gives them a new mindset for that day. If they're having a bad day, rough day, and that's priceless to me.
When we saw the pictures of your visit to the Niagara Detention Center,
Right.
which was one of the controversial pictures as far as Therapy Tails Ontario was concerned because of showing faces of corrections officers,
Right.
etc. But those people seemed more
They
than...
gave me full consent when I was there.
Yeah.
And then on leaving, I showed the pictures to Justina, who was the liaison for the detention center,
Right.
who initiated Therapy Tails to come there. She laughed and said, by all means, share them. But that wasn't good enough to, because he already sent out the emails that I snuck my camera in.
Okay. Kevin, did you have something to ask?
Yeah, just along those lines, Henry. I mean, Lee and I, we've all been following this story, and some of the communication seems to indicate that maybe there's something else afoot, and that has to do with the sharing of photos that maybe depict people that shouldn't have those photos publicized, or people that are below the age of 18. Is there anything else in this story you're not telling us as to why you would have been banned by Therapy Tails beyond just the beer can and the dog?
No. They're like Fort Erie preschool where there's children, and I'm passionate about showing what we do, what the whole cause of Therapy Tails and what we do. And yeah, there's children, let's say, for example, Fort Erie Preschool. Lindsay Osterman gets, with part of the registration, the parents sign whether one particular child or the other can go on social media. There are some that don't go on social media. We don't take pictures of those people or those children.
Yeah,
And anywhere else I am, if there's a parent there, I ask the parent first.
I guess what I was getting at, has Therapy Tails Ontario ever told you anything else other than the beer and the dog?
Well, yeah, they keep repeating that children's faces have to be blurred, or so if I'm at reading programs, that the pictures I take are from above, which they're fine with. The children are facing down. There's no pictures, no faces depicted. They can't be recognized. And then their social media person gets them, and then she can still review them or edit them before they're posted.
Okay. Henry, when this happened...
I don't know, is that clear enough?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of. It's just... it's hard to... It's really kind of hard for those of us on the outside to wrap our heads around, if you will,
yeah, exactly.
the fact that there's not more to the story, because the story that we know is rather ludicrous.
Well, you can see everything on my social media.
Yeah.
There's nothing hidden there.
Yeah, and you have shared various memos that you've obtained copies of from the head of that organization too. So I guess it is what it is. Now, I have another question for you personally, and that is, when this happened, I could tell when we first talked to you that you were incredibly personally impacted by this. You were extremely anxious and hurt and worried and all over the place with this personally. How are you now? Are you okay now?
Well, I've said to many people, it can take you to a dark place, but with all the support and the army of people that believe in what I was doing, it keeps me going.
Okay. Now, do you have regular visits planned now? Are you I know you were in the process of getting in touch with other organizations, as you mentioned before, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is your goal to rejuvenate a list of regular visits and regular organizations for you and Bella to visit?
Yeah, no, my goal is to fill up my schedule as much as she can, and I, can physically do within our parameters. This Friday, I'm going back to Fort Erie Preschool for their summer camp, so I think there'd be a few visits there. They're done now till September, so we'll just do the summer camps. But yeah.
So to protect yourself, you were talking about public liability insurance, et cetera, which is a good thing to have, obviously. But I'm assuming these protocols, like obtaining authorization to put faces and things like that on any posts, et cetera, you're following those protocols you've probably instituted on your own, I would assume.
To a T, yeah.
Yeah. So there's been no further communication with the organization, and
I would not consider going back under the current CO. But if there was a change, right, I would go back instantly. Yeah.
Okay. Henry, thank you for coming on to update the situation. We have our pet fruit fly. I trust Bella is on the road to recovery, and she'll be back in business before much longer. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Enjoy some more vacation. And
yeah, it was a godsend. Finally, I mean, what it cost me just for the X-rays and the emerge was a titch over what it cost me to get her as a puppy.
Yeah.
And I said, then what it cost me was worth every penny getting her, and it was worth every penny to know that it wasn't congestive heart failure or something more serious. Yeah.
Well, that's good news. Continue to spread the love, Henry. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. What a nice couple, as they say. Kevin, I want to spend some time and talk about our sponsors here today. We haven't done that in much detail yet. We apologize for that, and I am finally getting around to doing that. Gales Gas Bars Limited, of course, is the main fuel behind this program, pun intended, as they've been the main fuel behind fueling Niagara for the last 50 plus years, and are an LGBTQ plus rainbow registered business, by the way, considering how we opened the program, which means that they are supportive and protective customers and employees alike of all colors, creeds, and dispensations and orientations. So Gales, a wonderful Niagara-based and born business. We're very, very pleased to have them continue to be our main sponsor here for the program. Also with us for quite some time, Verge Insurance Group, insurance brokers here in St. Catharines, Niagara, which means that they will find you the best coverage at the best price, etc., for whatever kind of insurance protection you require. Verge Insurance, another Niagara-born and bred business. Our two most recent sponsors include Ace Alignment, and just absolutely thrilled to have Ace Alignment on board. They specialize in wheel alignments and brakes and basically all things mechanical when it comes to looking after your vehicle. They look after front end repairs and suspensions and all makes and models of trucks, cars, SUVs, including classic cars and tuners and you name it. Ace Alignment is the place. North Street in St. Catharines. So we thank them for coming on board. This is our third or fourth, maybe. Time flies so fast that Ace has been with us. So go on in and see Darren and Matt at Ace, and they'll look after you. Also, Dave DeGrave and his business Hartsel Marine on Hartsel Road. Or on Ormond Street, I'm sorry. I see Hartsel Marine and I say Hartsel Road almost automatically. They're on Ormond Street in Thorold. Legend Boats, Mercury Marine Dealership, and all things related to them. Great local business, very successful, and happy to have them as sponsors on this program, Hartsel Marine. Thanks for being here. So those are the people that help us help Niagara 411 and other news sources around Niagara to bring this show to you. We're happy as heck to do it as well. Niagara 411 Live with Sterry Season 4, Episode 17 for this year. And Kevin, tens of thousands of people view the program every week. I don't think we've done a tally overall for quite some time, but it's over a couple million views
easy.
And touches, easy.
Probably 5, 6, 7 million, somewhere in that range.
By now, since we started. And while we have Kevin here, WeeStreem is Canada's premier streaming source, and you say, why is that such a big deal? Anybody can stream anything. Well, that is not necessarily the case. You can go live with your cell phone and do a shaky little picture if you want, but very, very few, if any, companies in the country do what WeeStreem does at the level that they do it. Just talk about some of the things you've been up to lately.
Oh gosh, a lot of it is preparing for the fall and looking at a couple of just different events. We've got Remembrance Day ceremonies, which we help out the community with. We've got some private businesses looking to stream some of their events across the world, and working on helping out some of the communities with their Santa Claus parades as well. And let me tell you, if your municipality's Santa Claus parade is not live streamed, I encourage you to send them some emails, get on the phone, and ask them why. It's in today's day and age of accessibility and inclusivity, the fact that municipalities continue to put on events and don't live stream them, to me, is somewhat dumbfounding. But it is a long learning curve. I mean, if you're putting on a music act where you want everybody to come down to the city square, well, you know what? Why don't you broadcast that on the internet and allow everybody to enjoy your efforts from wherever they are in the community.
And in spite of the fact that Kevin and I both come from what you would call terrestrial or traditional-based media background, radio, just typical media stuff. Trust me, this is the communication tool of not tomorrow. It is the communication tool of today that is absolutely necessary if you are going to get your word out, whatever that word might be. And I keep coming back to this one event, and it ties back in rather to what we were talking about at the beginning. But this is an event that it is a prime example of what WeeStreem does, or what the art of streaming an event properly can do for you. When I think it was the first one in Niagara, Rainbow Crosswalk was in Niagara Falls. Kevin, this is going back a year or two now.
Yeah, a few years.
Yeah. Mayor Diodati was going to cut the ribbon, which he did, for the opening celebration, or whatever you want to call it, of the Rainbow Crosswalk in Niagara Falls. So when Kevin and WeeStream did stream this event, there it is there. See the number of people that are there? Right there, in addition to the mayor, there's maybe 6. And behind the camera that you just saw in the corner, shooting this, there might have been a half a dozen more. How many people watched the stream?
I think we're up over 100,000 now.
Okay. So if you want publicity for what you are doing, you can send out as many invitations through snail mail and email and however you want to do it as you like. And chances are people aren't going to come to your event. But you take your event to them, all of a sudden, you got a thing. You have some impact. You've got some contact. You got some word of mouth after that. And while it's all well and good for Mr. Mayor to do that and give a speech, he's probably thinking to himself, where is everybody? Well, everybody is watching this stream.
No, I appreciate that, Lee, and you know what? It is a learning curve because
Yeah.
technology moves a lot faster than our sensibilities usually.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're hosting any community event and not live streaming it, you have to ask yourself, am I truly making this accessible to all? Am I making it inclusive to all people?
And are my efforts worthwhile?
Absolutely.
Because people work hard at putting on events. And I'm not talking about necessarily photo ops for politicians. I'm talking about important events, fundraisers, and all of these things. Like Kevin mentioned, community parades, and I mean, you name it. And if it's something that you want people to be involved with and to be able to witness, this is the way to do it.
Yeah,
Because the old ways don't work anymore. They just don't.
Now, Lee, we on the program continue to use this medium to support community events, and there's a great one coming up, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, in support of cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, we have Trish.
Melissa McTrivish.
I know. I looked at Melissa's last name, and all of a sudden Trish came out. My mind has been playing tricks on me today. I don't know. Melissa McTrivish. Sorry, Melissa, for messing up your name there, but we got you anyway.
That's okay. That's okay.
Gosh almighty. But you are the organizer of the Fill the Truck for the CF fundraiser, Cystic Fibrosis.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Before we get into the scourge of that disease, let's talk about the event. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, so it's happening Saturday, August 12th at Pla-Mor Bowl in Port Dalhousie. It's a fun-friendly, kid-friendly event. There will be games. There will be prizes to be won, 50-50. There will be a hot dog barbecue going on. There will be some beverages served. The bar is open, as well as some friendly, kid-friendly drinks as well. There's some bowling. If anybody wants to bowl, bring your empties and have a great afternoon. It's from 12 to 4.
That's what I wanted to get to, is how you are raising the funds. It's a Bring Your Empties fundraiser,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So anything from the LCBO or beer store, you can drop them off. I have a few of my friends there that'll be crushing and loading up the trucks to bring to the beer store. In return, we will get money for the empties, and then we will donate all money raised to Cystic Fibrosis Canada.
That is great. And again, it's August 12th, Pla-Mor Bowl at Port Dalhousie.
Pla-Mor Bowl, yep.
Yeah. And what are the hours? When to when?
12 to 4.
12 to 4. And a better cause, I don't think there is. All causes, I suppose, I know, are worthy that fall into the charitable arena. However, cystic fibrosis is a disease that I learned about many, many years ago, and I couldn't believe at the time the tragic circumstances that people live with cystic fibrosis. You yourself have CF, correct?
I do. I was diagnosed at the age of 10.
And it is predominantly a child's disease, is it not?
It is. So my parents fought for many years on what was wrong with me, but all the doctors kept saying it was nothing wrong. I was fine. But I come from a European background. Both mom and dad are both Italian. So my pediatrician kept telling my parents, and I quote, "You Italians, you want your children fat," which is not the case. I have 2 older siblings, and my mom knew that there was something different about me. So she kept persisting and persisting. And finally, at the age of 10, we had a diagnosis of cystic fibrosis.
What is cystic fibrosis, Melissa?
It's a rare fatal disease that primarily affects the lungs and the digestive system.
And you said fatal disease. You have lived with CF for quite some time, perhaps longer than some. Am I stating that correctly?
Yes. So when I was diagnosed, the age of, I guess, living was 16 years old. That's what they told my parents. So I will be 46 August 24th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you've had to cope with a lot. What does it feel like when you experience the symptoms of this disease?
It's very hard to breathe. Sometimes I can't do anything. I was very limited to a lot of things that I could do growing up because I couldn't breathe doing it. I couldn't participate in running because it's got to do with your lungs, right? I couldn't breathe to do that.
Now your lungs with CF actually fill up with fluid. You lose the capacity even to allow air in to your lungs.
Absolutely. So that's why we have to do air clearance. So we do like percussions to loosen up all the mucus and try to get that out so our airways are clear.
And there's no cure.
There is no cure as of yet. There is actually a miracle drug that's called Trikafta that is out right now. I'm fortunately am one of the ones that is on this drug. I've been on it for about a year and a bit, and it has changed my life tremendously.
Wow.
Yes.
Is this something that is covered by our healthcare system, or is this something out of pocket?
Well, I was fortunate that I'm covered through the government, but no, there's a lot of families out there that have to pay out of pocket, and it comes with a $330,000 price tag a year.
For one person?
For one person.
300. Well, that's prohibitive. How can anyone? That's a $330,000 death sentence.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I'm assuming somewhere in the cystic fibrosis organization nationally, that there must be a lobby group to correct that situation.
Well, we are trying to fight to have some funding for everybody. But not only that, you do have to meet a criteria in order to be on this drug. You also have to have, so CF has different genes, and you have to at least have one gene, and it's called the Delta 508. So if you don't have that gene, right now, you can't have this drug.
Well, there's nothing more heart-wrenching than watching a child with CF attempt to breathe or go through an attack. I have seen it, and it's truly heart-wrenching. And I hope at some point in time that the powers that be find their way through the fact of okay, it's expensive, but we got to make this happen. And I know
Absolutely.
that, and I know that's also the case with a number of other drugs that parents need, or that for their children, or their children need for their parents. And I know it's not a singular problem. It's a more global problem than that, but it's important. The money that you get from your fundraiser on August the 12th, what do you do with it? Where does it go? How do you spend it?
It's going to Cystic Fibrosis Canada so that they can do more research and hopefully find a cure one day.
Well, I wish you all the best with it. I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you.
It's a scourge of a disease that we have no cure for yet, and hopefully one day soon we do. August the 12th, Pla-Mor Bowl, Port Dalhousie. It's a Bring All Your Empties day between noon and 4. So save up your empties. I won't encourage you to drink lots so you have lots, but if you have lots,
Absolutely.
take them to the CF fundraiser in Port Dalhousie on August the 12th. Melissa McTrivish, thank you so much for joining us.
For having me.
You're welcome. Continued good health to you as well. Thanks.
I will try my best. Thank you.
Okay. It is sad, Kevin, when you see some of these little tykes. And she said she was diagnosed at 10, and some are considerably younger than that when that happens. And it just breaks your heart. They're trying to breathe, and it's, oh my gosh, it brings tears to your eyes sometimes.
You talk to anybody, and you're no more than 1 or 2 degrees separated, right, from a family or a community. And for us, Lee, in showing some of those photos on there, a friend of mine, a friend of yours, Patty, who now works for Cystic Fibrosis, she lost her son, Mac, a number of years ago, and that just touched me. I mean, there you go. I've known Mac since he was 10 years old, passed away in his early 20s due to complications of CF, and it's absolutely heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to see that, just the trauma, both mental and physical.
What parents go through, knowing that their child is probably not going to have a long and fruitful and enjoyable life. They just know it. It's unusual for someone like Melissa to have survived as long as she has. With that,
awful. Lee, just before we go out to our street shot, where today we'll be featuring a music video from Niagara Falls band Gin. They're performing Friday at Canal Days.
Yep.
But speaking of taking it to the streets, there was a video here that was submitted to Niagara 411 and some still photos about how our streets are changing for the summer across St. Catharines. And I'll let you kind of take it from here. And it's an interesting viewpoint, and it's part of the conversation.
Yeah. There are popping up around many, many cities in the country. St. Catharines is one. Laura Jane Benoit put this up. This is my comment on St. Catharines' new Scott Street Bike Safety Pilot Project. What were you thinking? Did you even consult with cyclists before deciding to implement what was obviously a half thought out and poorly executed idea? Did you even think about cleaning up the bike lane and removing the overgrowth, repairing the uneven surface to the gutter before you cut off even more of the space we have to ride in? What happens when there is glass? Wow, we have the open air motorcycle gang here. What happens when there is glass in the bike lane? A constant problem in this city. How is a cyclist supposed to swerve to avoid debris and glass that can cause them to fall? Why not put up more share the road signs and work with NRPS to actually enforce the Highway Traffic Act, the 1 meter passing rule? Cyclists are made safer by riding in harmony and respect with drivers, not by creating workaround solutions that just encourage drivers to pay even less attention to cyclists sharing the road. Now, here are the pictures. That's obviously saying what we're looking at is the pilot project. Now, here is Laura Jane's youngster in a bike trailer behind her cycle, and you see that post beside her. The bike lane, of course, is what you're looking at is the vertical lane, white line, and then there's that post. Well, there are a series of posts within which the cyclist has to ride between those posts and the curb. And you'll notice the curb, to go to Laura Jane's point, is not clean. It's kind of dirty the way curbs get, especially after a winter and spring, etc. And it's easy for debris to gather there. Now, her point being, if she encounters, while riding her bicycle, something that she wants to avoid, she has very little wiggle room in which to do that.
Well, you know, that's she shared a video as well, eh?
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Oh, that was the photo.
Yeah.
Pretty much less than 6 inches from the pipe. We have less than 6 inches where the curb is so badly maintained, or the gutter is so badly maintained that there's wildlife growing in it. And I am supposed to hold this steady while watching for oncoming traffic. Worst idea ever.
Worst idea ever. Now,
Here, Lee, you know what? I'll see if I can get that more full screen here so we can
Okay.
appreciate what it is that she's talking about.
all right.
Okay,
There
so
you
we
go.
have pretty much less than 6 inches from the pipe. We have less than 6 inches where the curb is so badly maintained, or the gutter is so badly maintained that there's wildlife growing in it. And I am supposed to hold this steady while watching for oncoming traffic. Worst idea ever.
Do you agree? Is that okay? I understand, I think, the motivation behind the bike lanes, of course, is the fact that motorists will be very aware of the fact that there is something there that they don't want to hit either, but it makes them aware of the fact that there is a line they can't cross. I've seen motorists go around other motorists on the right side where bike lanes are and pass them in the bike lane, which is incorrect. It's just you're in a hurry to go nowhere. So ostensibly, this is what we're trying to prevent. We're trying to prevent the encroachment of a big vehicle over the line into a little vehicle. Now, Laura Jane's situation is special because she is hauling precious cargo. She has a bike trailer with a child in there, which adds to the difficulty of maneuvering in that lane. There's no question about that. It is much easier for a single cyclist. I ride. I'm not addicted to it. I'm not what I would call a cyclist, but I do ride on a semi-regular basis. But I don't haul anything behind me. And if there's a little thing in front of me that I want to avoid, it's much easier to do that as a single occupant of a bicycle than it is if you're hauling precious cargo like Laura Jane Benoit is. And other cities have attempted to do this in different ways. Some just leave the lanes to be negotiated with that one white line or a green line or something of that nature. Some cities have bike lanes that are very, very obvious bike lanes because the entire surface, for example, if you're looking at this picture, from the entire surface, from the white line to the curb, is painted a different color, be it green or with lines across it or something to visually set it apart from the rest of the road. Others have used cement, actual cement barricades, where in place of the posts that you see in this picture. Now, from there at Scott Street, it doesn't look like the posts are too close together. I'm not sure. You can't really tell from the picture how much space is between post to post. But what is also noticeable, to go to Laura Jean's point, is look at the overgrowth there, that whole strip of grass, weeds, that will definitely impede a bicycle from going down there, or one of the four-wheeled scooters or whatever. Now the scooters are supposed to be on the sidewalk, but a lot of them don't go on sidewalks because the scooter riders will tell you that it's too bumpy, that the sidewalks have cracks in them, so it's too bumpy to do that. Well, okay, I guess that's up to you. And in this case, the bicycle lane isn't supposed to go up to that curb spot anyway, but it should be well groomed at the very least before you put people in there, because anything could be in there. But again, to go to her point, if there's glass or there's some impediment or whatever, and you cannot maneuver, then it's a problem. So, now, in the city's defense, it is a pilot project. Pilot project means we're going to try this out, and we're going to see how it works. Well, it's feedback like this that is important, so that when it comes to judging whether to proceed from a pilot project to standard operating procedure, they have some information to go on. So this at least is a debate. I don't know how long the pilot project is supposed to continue. Kevin, how long was this supposed to run? Do you know?
Not really sure, but I see more and more of them popping up.
Yeah.
Trying to blend motorists, pedestrians, cars, trucks, all into the same roadways, very difficult, and especially in communities like ours, northern communities, where really, what do we have? 6 months out of the year where riding a bike to get around really isn't that convenient. I mean, middle of winter, not a whole lot of people biking. So how much money and how much infrastructure do we invest in separating cars from bikes?
Agreed.
I don't know what the perfect solution is.
And to go to that point as well, when you've got snow, are those posts, are those pipes, whatever they're, I don't know what they're made of. I'm assuming they're some sort of malleable material. Do they come out?
Oh yeah, they install these in the spring and then take them out in the fall.
And then they take them out.
And I mean, each of those posts, if you hit it, absolutely, it could throw that. That's my concern for her looking at this situation, Lee, is that if the back tire of her carrier that had her daughter in caught one of those posts,
flip it over.
It could flip it over or veer her into the actual live traffic lane.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know what the perfect solution is, and at least they're trying something. I mean, you cycle as a cyclist driving around.
I feel safer in the lane. Now, I haven't cycled where these posts are, but I do cycle where there are bike lanes.
Now, what about these with these temporary bollards? Would you feel safer, you think, or do you feel it's you know?
I don't know. I'm frankly, I might feel a little claustrophobic. It sounds odd because I don't cross the white line anyway. It's just to have that there might feel different. And I cycle on a pretty busy road. I'm on Lakeshore Boulevard, where I do the most is on Lakeshore Boulevard in St. Catharines. So that's a very, very busy thoroughfare in our community, and I haven't had any issues, but I'm also pretty careful too. Sometimes there are workers, city workers, etc., or hydro trucks parked, etc., and they end up having to park in the bike lane, so you end up having to go around on a sidewalk or whatever. But that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all because I'm pretty watchful of what I'm doing, and I always give the cars the right of way, even if they're not supposed to have it, because I don't care who's right or who's wrong. If you have some sort of a confrontation, guess who wins? It ain't the bike. I can tell you that. So I'm always. You know what? I always give the cars their due. I let them go.
What I appreciate is the effort. I appreciate the effort, at least looking at the situation and identifying maybe there's a better way. And this might not be the perfect solution, but at least they're looking at it.
Hence, pilot.
Yeah. How do we keep our cyclists more safe on the road?
And it doesn't mean you don't want people to speak out against it, like Laura Jean. I mean, because that's what the city workers and the city fathers and the politicians and who else that's what they want to hear. And there are also traffic flow experts. In big cities like Toronto, it is a massive, massive issue. So many bicycles. Now, not as many bicycles as maybe some cities in Europe, but there are a lot of people on two wheels in Toronto. And busy streets.
Yeah, one thing, wow. I remember, I've never been to Amsterdam, Lee. I'm not sure if you have. My sister went years ago and biked everywhere, and people always look to them and say, oh, look at this example. One thing about Amsterdam, it is flat. There isn't a hill to be seen for miles and miles and miles. So when you look at situations, you look at other cities, it's not always our reality. We've got winters to deal with. We've got lots of hills everywhere you go. Cycling may not be the solution that it is for Amsterdam, for example.
And I guess if we have any message at the end of this piece is, because it is a pilot project, the die is not permanently cast. There may and will undoubtedly be changes to the current plan. So don't just sit back and say, well, this is stupid and not do anything about it, or this is great and not say it. They are looking for feedback on this kind of stuff before final decisions are made. So make your position known on this. This has been Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, Season 4, Episode 17, powered by WeeStream, fueled by Gales Gas Bars, supported by Verge Insurance Group, Hartzell Marine, and Ace Alignment. We value your participation in this more than you know. And we'd like to thank Sonia Aimy from African Women Acting for being on the program today. Henry and Bella, you're welcome here anytime. Thank you for what you do, and thanks for updating us on the therapy dog situation here with your participation in Niagara. Thanks for being here. Melissa McTrivish, organizer of the Fill the Truck CF fundraiser, Bring Your Empties to Port Dalhousie, Pla-Mor Bowl, August 12th, noon to 4. And we shall play off the stage with Gin. We've had the band on before, great band here in Niagara. They're going to be an opening act for what band?
Glorious Sons.
Yeah, Glorious Sons.
Friday night at Canal Days.
Friday night at Canal Days in Port Colborne. This is Get Back from Gin. You folks have a great week, what's left of it. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you in a couple. Bye.
Folded neatly in my wallet, I've been working up a stash. Well, I don't need love or flowers and pieces for the cowards. I just want the smell of money in my pocket. pocket every hour. I feel it coming near with the dream and I demand. This time next year might be a counting on my hands. So look out. For a lower price on gas. Yes, I'll do it for the dollar. I'd watch the market crash. Now I'm begging for your power, but you judge me from your tower, and you take the means to buy it from my pocket every hour. Listen, I feel it coming near with the dream and I demand. You know, this time next year gonna be a gown and all my hands to the ground. Look out, all you sinners. Watch the holy rolling grinners. Take the food from your plates and claim it as their own for dinner. I said, look out, all you sinners. Watch the holy rolling grinners. Take the food from your plates and claim it as their own for dinner. I told them, get back.